How's it going, Io? In this video, we've got so much news to cover. We're going to talk about Britney Spears' intervention, the backlash surrounding Rihanna's halftime show, and an insane update about the relationship drama between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. So, it was recently reported that Britney's family and friends were in talks to host an intervention after growing concerns for her mental health. According to TMZ, her husband, her manager, an interventionist, and doctors all plan to try and convince Britney to get treatment and keep her in a house in LA for 2 months. Apparently, people in her inner circle had grown concerned for her well-being due to a medication-related issue. One of them said, "Britney has been acting increasingly erratic, and those around her have grown more concerned. She's often up all night, sleeps during the day, and has a lot of anger." Another insider said that things behind the scenes have been very difficult and absolutely chaotic, as those close to her encourage her to get help. Quote, "Everyone had hoped Britney could be convinced to seek treatment before things got any worse, but they knew it wouldn't be easy. She's been going through a lot and has been increasingly combative. But then we learned that the intervention was cancelled because it was deemed unnecessary." Another source came forward and spoke to Page 6. They said, "Unfortunately, there is a lot of hysteria in the media right now, but Britney is fine, and much of this has been overblown and grossly distorted, and it looks like this might be the case, because now Britney herself has spoken out against the headlines with a post on Instagram." She wrote, "It makes me sick to my stomach that it's even legal for people to make up stories that I almost died. I mean, at some point enough is enough." She also claimed that she's probably going to have to stop posting on Instagram because even though she enjoys doing it, there's obviously a lot of people who don't wish her well, which is not surprising to her at all. Britney ended the post by saying, "Doing the best I can. Again, the conservatorship has been over for almost a year. No folks, it's not 2007, it's 2023, and I'm making my first homemade lasagna at home. I finally got my fireplace to work in my living room. As my hubby says it best, don't believe everything you read." So there you go, she had to hop on social media once again and reassure everyone that she's doing just fine. Makes you wonder whether people in her inner circle were really concerned about her, or they just wanted to start even more drama. But it's crazy when you think about how often this kind of thing has been happening. Last month, Britney was filmed getting upset while fans invaded her privacy and recorded her at a restaurant. Not long after that, police were called to her home to conduct a wellness check on her, just because she deleted her Instagram account. Fans believe there was something seriously wrong with the singer after she took herself off of social media without warning. So they decided to call the cops to her home to see if she was in danger, but the police later confirmed that she was not in any kind of trouble, even though they said that they did not talk to her about any kind of mental health issues. This obviously left Britney frustrated with her so-called fans. She then took to social media to deny that she'd had a breakdown. She wrote on Instagram, "It is what it is. Nope, I'm not having a breakdown, I am who I am, and moving forward in my life. I have never felt better." Sadly, the singer has a long history of people trying to control her life and her actions. As we know, she was legally locked into a 13-year conservatorship, where her father, Jamie Spears, had total control over her personal and financial affairs. In fact, Britney once claimed during a court testimony that she'd been forced to go to a mental facility against her will in early 2019. It was only in November of 2021 that she regained control of her multi-million-dollar fortune and various aspects of her life, although the court battle over legal fees is still ongoing. During recent hearings, things became very contentious about Britney's personal well-being. In January of 2022, her father's attorney requested to unseal all records from the duration of the conservatorship. The singer's attorney, Matthew Rosengard, called this offensive and highly inappropriate. At the time, he said, "We don't think a father who loves his daughter would file to unseal her medical records." So after all of that, it's no surprise that Britney's relationship with her father and other members of her family are irreparably broken, and all the unwanted media attention would have only exacerbated those feelings, which is just another reason that she needs privacy now more than ever. Now, have you guys heard that Rihanna's performing at the Super Bowl halftime show? It will be her first live performance since the 2018 Grammys, and she promises that it will be a jam-packed show. She said, "The setlist was the biggest challenge, deciding how to maximize 13 minutes but also celebrate. That's what this show is going to be. It's going to be a celebration of my catalog in the best way that we could have put it all together." That's exactly what Rihanna fans have been waiting to hear. Very little has been revealed about the performance itself. A trailer produced by Apple Music mostly mentions the hype around her absence, and as many voices can be heard shouting about how long it's been, the singer emerges in a neon green cape looking beautiful. But unfortunately, news of the performance has already been met with some backlash, and you won't be surprised to learn that it came from Donald Trump. The former president slammed Rihanna and said that she has no talent after one of his supporters demanded that she be removed from the Super Bowl halftime show for insulting him. It all started when Republican Congressman Ronnie Jackson lashed out at the NFL for casting the singer. He tweeted, "Rihanna spray painted F Donald Donald Trump on a car at the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo. She's made a career out of spewing degenerate filth while bad-mouthing America every chance she gets. Why is the NFL showcasing this crap? Rihanna should not be the halftime performer. In response, Trump commented on Jackson's post saying, without her stylist, she'd be nothing. Bad everything and no talent. But that's something that her millions of fans would disagree with. At a media preview this week, the singer said that her first live event in 7 years feels like it could have only been now. But why has it been so long? Well, Rihanna was actually supposed to perform at the 2019 Super Bowl, but she became one of the many musical artists who boycotted the show in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, the former 49ers quarterback who was blackballed for kneeling in protest of police brutality during the national anthem at a game in 2016. At the time, Rihanna told Vogue that she turned down the opportunity because she just couldn't be a sellout, and she said that there are things within that organization that she did not agree with at all, and she was not about to go and be of service to them in any way. So when it comes down to it, she stood up for what she believed in and rejected the offer when it was brought to her. But you might be wondering, what is different this time around? While she didn't explain exactly what changed her mind about the show, when she was asked why now was the right time to say yes to the job, Rihanna said it was now or never, and she talked about the birth of her son. She said there's this weird stuff that happens when you become a mom. You unleash or unlock other parts of your superpower. You feel like you can take on or do anything. I wanted to take on the challenge. I wanted to do something that would force me to get back on stage. She explained that the Super Bowl is one of the biggest stages in the world, and there's something exhilarating about the challenge of it all. During the Apple Music press conference, she also attributed her decision to the importance of representation for Caribbean culture and her home country of Barbados. And that's something that she wants her son to see. Although Rihanna hasn't put out new music during her years-long hiatus, that doesn't mean that she was slacking off. In addition to giving birth to her first child in May, the 34-year-old has built a cosmetic empire with Fenty Beauty. The company launched 6 years ago, and it's now become one of the most inclusive and successful brands in the industry, and it's worth an estimated $2.8 billion. In 2018, she also launched the lingerie brand Savage X Fenty, and together the businesses make up the vast majority of her estimated $1.4 billion fortune. So it's a good thing that she's not pressed for cash, because as we know, she won't be getting paid for her Super Bowl performance. This is just the way that it's always been for halftime headliners. While A-list performers don't actually get paid, the show does offer huge benefits from the exposure to a massive audience. This year, the number of viewers is expected to top 192 million. So fans are beyond excited to see how Rihanna goes about cramming 17 years of her life's work into a 13-minute show. And now we have a pretty big update on the drama between Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck at the Grammys. A seat filler who sat next to the couple has just spoken out about what they were really saying. And apparently, Ben knew his miserable expression was going viral and he didn't care. A TikTok user by the name of Anna posted a 2-minute video where she discussed her experience being seated next to them for part of the show. She said, "I was next to them for a good bit of it. That was my favorite seat. I was right in front of Beyonce." She claimed that she wanted to talk to the actor but decided against it because he didn't look happy. Quote, "I didn't want to talk to him and be like, oh my god, Good Will Hunting is one of my favorite movies. You're my hero. Because I didn't feel like doing that and I didn't want to be embarrassed. So don't judge me for that, it was scary. I was just so lucky to be seated right next to him." As for what Ben and JLo were really talking about, it's actually really funny. At the time, there was a meme going around of Ben being upset at award shows, and during the actual ceremony, Jennifer showed it to him. Quote, "JLo showed Ben Affleck the phone and was like, oh my god honey, look at this meme circulating about you." And he was like, oh god, this again. He knew during the performance that he was a meme. Like he knew, and he also chose not to change his expression. And I went on to say, "I just love how unbothered that is. So I know that she was on her phone and saw it and was like, honey, this is so funny, just look at this." And he was like, Jesus Christ. Although the TikTok user made sure to let people know that the couple were very much in love. She said they were very smitten, they were super lovey-dovey, like their hands were always entwined. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but they just were. So it wasn't like, oh my god, this is going to lead to divorce. They were cute. Anna also revealed that the couple left the ceremony early, and Ben took the skirt of JLo's dress and lifted it up too much, so she had to tell him off. This news comes after someone posted a video on Twitter of the two of them sitting together, with the caption, "However bad of a day you're having, I promise you you're not as miserable as Ben Affleck at the Grammys right now." As expected, the comments under the video were pretty brutal. Someone wrote, "He could be home baking with Jennifer Garner, and instead he's looking around for the emergency exits for a quick getaway." In another awkward video of the event, the newlyweds were captured having an intense argument, but they seemed like they were trying to play it off for the cameras. In the clip, Ben can be seen leaning over to whisper something in Jennifer's ear, only for her to whip her head around and sternly say something to him. She then puts her hand on his chest and appears to tell him to sit up straight, as he immediately adjusts his posture. JLo looks annoyed and rolls her her eyes before noticing that they are on camera. She then turns her attention to Trevor Noah, who's hosting the show, and tries to laugh it off. But it's possible that Ben was just exhausted and not necessarily miserable in JLo's company. In fact, after the Grammys, an insider source spoke to Entertainment Tonight, and they said that he's more of a homebody and he just was feeling tired during the event. So that part was certainly accurate. In other words, just because he was not smiling all night long doesn't mean his relationship with Jennifer is suddenly on the rocks. But what do you think about the latest story? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.